You're listening to The Morning Buzz.
The Morning Buzz.
To The Morning Buzz.
The Morning Buzz on 90.3. 90.3.
90.3.
90.3 WMSC.
WMSC.
WMSC Upper Montclair.
Upper Montclair, New Jersey.
Good morning, world, and all who inhabit it. My name is Louis Biondolillio, and I am one of your hosts of The Morning Buzz, here coming at you live from the beautiful School of Communication and Media on the campus of Montclair State University. This is 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, the voice of Montclair State. And I'm not here alone. Well, I'm here alone in the studio alone. But joining me through my computer, my Dell computer, is Kyle Pepitone. Hi, Kyle.
Good morning, Louis.
Good morning. Happy Monday. How are you feeling today?
A little too lively for a Monday, maybe, but I'm doing good.
You know, is it too lively if we're on the Morning Buzz? I feel alive whenever I'm near you, Kyle.
Thank you, despite the fact that we're several miles away.
Several. I would say multiple, like many miles away.
Yeah, I'm not good with directions, so I don't know the exact number.
Well, here at WMSC, we take social distancing to the next level. I would say.
At least 6 miles apart at all times.
6 miles apart here at WMSC. That's how we became the best college station in the nation, by the way. Just wanted to put that in there. Every show. Gotta tell the viewers, listeners, that we are the best in the country.
Indeed. Anyway, we are also joined here with our newscaster, Patrina Geiger. I'm sorry. Do you want to hit us with the Monday morning newscast?
I don't know if she's gonna want to do that if you don't know her name, Kyle.
I'm sorry.
You know, Patrina, how about you give me a newscast? Does that work better?
Sure. I'll give you the newscast.
All right.
All right. So today, in local news, according to NJ.com, last week, Governor Phil Murphy made an announcement how all New Jersey schools will be fully in person starting next school year. New Jersey teachers and parents seem to be on board with this. This means that the Montclair students will be in person as well and back on campus starting fall semester full time. This also includes big cities like Newark with no option for online classes at all. Teachers are ready to go back in the classroom with students, mostly planning to be fully vaccinated by the time of the new school year. So in Newark, 2,000 of the school employees plan on being vaccinated by the new school year, making it even safer for teachers and students. In national news today, according to ABC News, Miami residents are over the spring breakers taking over their town and are having a protest for it. The Miami resident protest is called Take Back the City, and it happened on Saturday in front of the city hall, and over 100 residents have participated. Although many colleges in this nation, including Montclair State, have canceled their spring breaks, there were still tons of spring breakers partying it up in Miami despite the pandemic. Dozens of people in Miami have also been arrested for revelry. The protesters demanded to ban the partying before Memorial Day weekend when partiers plan to revisit. In local news, according to New Jersey 101.5, operations at the Jersey Shore may be limited for another summer due to lack of foreign workers to help. Typically, the foreign college students fill up their summer work with work travel program by working at the Jersey Shore, but due to COVID restrictions, the seaside businesses cannot rely on them for their help this year. In 2020, the shore suffered from lack of work, with Maury's Piers only hiring 700 workers instead of their usual 1,500 workers, and the Jersey Shore establishments have shortened their hours. The marketing director for the Casino Pier and Breakwater Beach in Seaside Heights said they've been hiring workers since February 1st, and they're on track for the summer of 2021. And for the weather today in Montclair, there will be a high of 45 degrees and a low of 34 degrees with partly cloudy, partly sunny skies. And this concludes your news update.
Thank you, Patrina.
You know, Patrina, I do want to add one extra thing to your Casino Pier. What a great place that is. I don't know if you've ever been, but it is an amazing place. That is the epitome of the Jersey Shore. Like you go to Point Pleasant, yeah, you got the family friendly stuff, but you go to Seaside Heights and you go to Casino Pier, and that's it. That's where all the Italians are. The New Jersey Italians, the old school. We're gonna get some ice cream on the boardwalk with our pants sagging down to our ankles. That's the epitome of the Jersey Shore. You may not like it, but it's exactly what people think about when they think of New Jersey.
Yeah,
But-
you're right though. You're right. Even though the Seaside Heights isn't my top choice, you're not wrong. It's like the spot.
Yeah, for sure.
But Lewis, I think you're missing the bigger point from this newscast is that you're not the only one who's unrelentingly angry at these Miami beachgoers.
You know, just a little backstory for people who don't listen every single week. I'm angry about that. I'm not going to go on the rant, but you could listen or you could watch it on Facebook Live at our Facebook page, WMSC 90.3 FM. I'm angry about that. Like, what are you doing? And stop and just don't. And that's all that I have.
I had to hide under a desk.
I almost grabbed Kyle's neck from about 30 miles away. But anyway, we not only have a newscast, but we have our 2-minute warning coming up with Matt. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning. Good morning. Over the weekend in Montclair sports, we saw the men's lacrosse team beat Susquehanna 19-8. The field hockey team beat Stockton University 2-1. The baseball team beat Stockton twice in a doubleheader, one game 7-4 and the other 10-8. And then just a little preview on Wednesday, both the men's and the women's soccer team will be taking on Rutgers Camden. Some notable professional sports news. In the NFL, a big change was made to this season format, which includes each team playing an additional game to a total of 17 rather than a 16-game season. A little strange and something that we're all going to have to get used to. In the MLB, the Mets lost yesterday 10-2 against the Marlins, while the Yankees lost 6-2 against the Phillies. But keep in mind, it is spring training, so those games will not count. Just 2 more days until April 1st, which is opening day. In the NBA, with a wild weekend of roster changes that consisted of LaMarcus Aldridge joining the star-studded Brooklyn Nets, yesterday it was announced that Andre Drummond will be joining the Los Angeles Lakers, joining LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Tonight, the Knicks will be playing the Miami Heat, and the Nets will be taking on the Timberwolves. And just a little update for the NCAA March Madness tournament, just 1 week away from crowning a champion. Started with 64 teams and now down to just the Elite 8, which consist of Gonzaga, Michigan, Baylor, Houston, Arkansas, USC, UCLA, and Oregon State. And finally, today in sports history in 1984, in the NFL, the Baltimore Colts made the move to Indianapolis, and as we know them today as the Indianapolis Colts. I'll send it back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Matt. Sounds like a busy week in the world of sports.
Yes, it was.
You know, and this year, we will be seeing New York sports start to have some attendance at those games.
I'll be there.
You'll be there? Which one are you going to first? Like, what?
It's very far. I'm hoping to get to one before that, but September 12th, Mets Yankees.
You want to be at the Subway Series this year.
Yeah.
You know, I don't blame you because while the game is whatever.
It's this is my thinking. I love the New York Mets like more than anything, but I hate the Yankees more than anything. So it's just like it's perfect.
So you're saying it's the perfect matchup of good versus evil. I understand.
Nothing gets my blood boiling like a Yankees fan.
You know, that's fair. I've been to Yankee Stadium, and there's some real interesting people who decide to wear those pinstripe uniforms. Yeah, I would say so. I'm not a fan, but I think Kyle's a Yankees fan. He looks like a Yankees fan. So
No, I don't know enough about sports to even tie myself to a team.
Which is why I thought you were a Yankees fan, because that's what most Yankees fans are. They just see that they win all the time because they have a huge budget. And anyway, I wouldn't
even know the win ratio of the Yankees. I'm lucky I even know the name of the team.
That's fair. I'd be a little upset at you if you didn't know who the Mets and the Yankees were. But you don't need to know anything about them because I don't know anything about them except I hate the fans. That's it.
It's fair.
Well, let's stop talking about sports. We got plenty of other sports programming here on this radio station. Kyle, take us into our first story. It's an important one that there's been a lot of memes about.
Yes, and that's how I first heard about this story too, through the memes.
Yes.
But memes are not a credible source, so
They're not?
unfortunately, no. At least not all the time. But since we can't use memes, from apnews.com, 2 tugboats have been deployed to Egypt's Suez Canal as shippers try to avoid it. So, if you are unaware, a cargo ship got stuck in the Suez Canal last week, and there have been several attempts to try to dislodge it as it is blocking up the Suez Canal and halting travel in a canal that takes up about 10% of the global trading economy. So 2 additional tugboats have been dispatched to try to dislodge this ship that got stuck earlier this week, as I said. Authorities are still attempting to remove the MV Ever Given and get the stretch of canal back up and running again. However, they have had minimal success. The amount of traffic that has been slowed down due to the stuck ship is estimated to be $9 billion a day, further straining the global shipping network that relies on the Suez Canal even more than, COVID has already done. The 2 tugboats that have been dispatched are the Dutch flagged Alpguard and the Italian flagged Carlo Magno. They arrived in the Suez Canal to aid the 10 other tugboats already there. However, they are not going to. They didn't start tugging when the 2 arrived. They waited till earlier today in order to start doing it. And currently, the ship is still stuck, but is now, quote, partially refloated, as the article mentioned. So, not great news. I mean,
So, okay, at first glance, this is a pretty funny story.
oh,
Don't get me wrong. It's pretty funny. I saw something and it was like, can you imagine being the next guy to drive through to be the captain of the boat going through this canal, the next boat, and
yeah.
you could be the person that does the funniest thing that any human has ever done and get that one stuck too. But in all seriousness,
Oh, no.
yeah, no, that would be we would laugh for about 5 minutes and then we would all cry.
Yeah.
This is a huge issue.
Right.
It's really second only to the Panama Canal
Right.
in terms of canals. And if you don't really understand what it's for, it's okay. I didn't know either until I saw the memes, and then I did some research.
Right.
Canals are important because it's one of the biggest trading routes that there are.
Yeah.
And if you can't get through that canal to get from one place to another, it takes so much longer to get around. And well, you say, Lewis, okay, so they had to drive a little, they had to go through, what do you say? Sail. Thank you. They had to sail a little bit longer. Well, they're not doing that. They're all just waiting for the canal. And you're saying, okay, so what? They get paid a few extra days and companies lose a few $1,000s. No. That means prices on goods start to go up. That means that people in this area especially will feel the effects of this economically. Like if this was the Panama Canal, everything would be expensive, especially on the west coast of the United States. So this is a huge issue, maybe not to us so much. Like there's other trading routes for the United States, but for people in this immediate area, it's an issue.
Countries have already started, Middle East, I think, have already started like rationing like fuel and stuff because they don't know when they're going to get more. Because even though the ship's only been stuck for a week, there have just been backlogs for a bunch of shipping companies now.
Exactly. And we're going to feel the effects of this for probably a few years, if I'm being honest, because
most likely
it's not just what's trying to get through the canal now. But now it's going to take that much longer for future boats to get through this canal. And the boats that have the cargo trying to get through this canal, they won't be able to pick up the next item and then the next item. And eventually it'll even itself out. But for the next few months especially, you're going to feel the effects of this.
Right. Yeah, especially right after, well, not right after, but during COVID, which has already done a number to the shipping route, or not the shipping route, but the shipping network. And now put this on top of it, you're You're asking for trouble.
Yeah, that's a dynamic duo. That's not so dynamic, I have
Yeah.
to say.
Terrible twos.
The terrible twos. Oh, let's just hope there's nothing more. We don't. This way, we don't have the terrible threes next.
Oh no, please no.
We don't want that. Not at all. So important news. Hopefully this time next week when we see you again, we'll be able to say happily that this boat is officially all out.
Hopefully.
I've heard some experts saying that by either the end of the day today or the end of the day tomorrow, they should be in a better position with this canal. So hopefully
Right.
that rings true. If
Yeah.
not, well, then hunker down.
Yep, let's
Hunker
hope.
down a little bit, especially if you're in the Middle East, because there's going to be some expensive goods coming your way. Yeah. So no bueno, no bueno. Anyway, we're going to move on to our next story, which is the number 2 of those terrible twos. But this is strictly speaking about the United States. The U.S. is in a delicate position right now as COVID cases increase alongside vaccinations. According to CNBC.com, with summer only a few short months away, New Jerseyans are dreaming of the Jersey Shore carnivals and the Asbury Park concerts. Across the country, people have begun to let their guard down against the pandemic. And when asked if we were, quote, turning the corner, end quote, of the pandemic, Dr. Anthony Fauci, a name we all know well at this point, says that we are not turning the corner quite yet. We're kind of taking a rest stop at the corner. That's what he's saying. He says in order to take next steps, health officials say that we must continue to mask up, social distance, and get more, one of my favorite new lines, shots in arms. That's obviously referencing the vaccines, but it's just a funny way of saying it. This past week, the U.S. reported a 61,000 positive cases weekly average, and that's up 12% from the previous week. Looking closer here in New Jersey, we have a 7-day average of just over 4,000 cases per day, which is up about 300 from the previous week. So in both cases, the United States and New Jersey, cases are on the rise as people start to let their guard down with the first signs of spring. We had some beautiful weather outside. I won't lie, I had a little bit of spring fever this past week, especially that 80-degree day last week.
Oh yeah.
That was beautiful. But we have to make sure health officials are saying that we are not letting our guard down until at least the beginning of summer.
Right.
You know? But if we take a look even closer at Montclair State, last week we reported how there was 43 cases on campus, excuse me. And that was a huge number for us. We haven't seen a number bigger than 24 yet, and then it jumped to 43 from 13, which was like a 350% increase last week. Well, I'm happy to announce, if you haven't already heard, that according to our COVID dashboard here, we're down to 36 cases this week. That's down from 43. It's still a lot compared to what we were at from weeks prior, don't get me wrong, but I'd prefer to see these numbers gradually start decreasing rather than the opposite. And if you want to know the status of all of the cases this semester, currently there are 68 people with COVID on university property that are in isolation and are recovering. And another 103 people have already left isolation this semester and have returned to campus. So overwhelmingly, more positive cases last week, but this is positive news. That people are starting to recover. And this was last updated on Thursday, and I actually know a few of my friends who just got out of isolation. So that number should be decreasing this Thursday as well, hopefully. Now, the more important number that some people say is the positivity rate of tests. And we've looked at that from the United States. We've looked at that worldwide from New Jersey. But now we have this number from Montclair State as well. Last week, when we had that bigger number, we had the highest positivity rate we had all year at 1.26%. So that just over 1 out of every 100 tests, somebody was positive. So that's not a good thing. We're still over the 1%, but now we're at 1.07%. So again, slowly decreasing. That's down 0.2% approximately. Slowly decreasing as weeks go on. And a number that we want to see continue to increase, this next one, is the amount of vaccines given to students and employees here at the university. This past week, the cumulative total of those who have reported at least having one dose is just under 2,000 people from the university, and that's only people that regularly fill out their Hawk check.
Right.
So it's hard to say how many people do. I wish they would tell us that. They don't. We have a university of over 20,000 people. However, only about 5,000 to 6,000 people are living on campus this semester. Most people are off campus this semester, and therefore it's difficult for me to tell you how many people filled out this Hawk check. But that 2,000 has increased from last week where we were at 1,500. So we had 500 more people that have had at least one dose of the vaccine in a week. And
That's
if we
good.
continue this, really great news. And we're on track right now to get all residents vaccinated by the start of the fall 2021 semester, if the rate continues. The university has already announced that they plan to have a pretty normal semester next year. But I know we've heard that before.
Right. But not just the university plans on going back to normal in the fall. New Jersey itself does, speaking of which, because just last week, Governor Murphy sent out a directive saying that most schools or many school districts will return to in-person learning with no option for online learning next semester, which I think is pretty interesting. And the other thing I found interesting from this article from NJ.com, by the way, is that many school districts and associated teachers unions are actually on board with this. A lot of the teachers and school districts are saying, yeah, we totally support the governor's call now because as we've seen in the past 2 weeks, a lot of teachers were not, it seemed like a lot of teachers were not comfortable going back yet to teaching in person. So Murphy stated, quote, "I want to be unequivocal about this. We are expecting Monday through Friday in person, every school, every district. Obviously, if the world goes sideways, we have to revisit that. But as of this sitting, the answer is no," in reference to, you know, like online learning that we've been stuck with for about a year at this point.
Sure.
So many schools are even preparing to go back beforehand. For example, in Newark, they're getting ready to go back to in-person learning in April, and ahead of this, they've made efforts to secure extra vaccines for their employees so that all teachers and staff can be vaccinated before, you know, they start going back, and they can, you know, control it a little bit more. And in addition, the governor's directive came just as 15 school districts, including Newark, were planning to switch from remote, not including Newark, but in addition to Newark, we're planning to switch from remote to hybrid. So correct me if I'm wrong, but that's kind of what we have right now. Some in person, some online.
Yeah, if you were to say the university as a whole, it'd definitely be hybrid. Is that what you're
Right.
going to say, Patrina?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Usually they're just like the university, but I think like high schools and like them, they're all mostly online. But like I think a few kids like for my school district here in West Caldwell, they have most kids are online, but maybe like a few kids will go into school, but not many.
Yeah, and here in Montclair, especially, it's a hot button issue at the moment. And we're not talking about the university. I'm speaking about the actual Montclair Public School District. There's a huge fight right now in Montclair between parents, teachers, the teachers union, and the school board. A few weeks ago, the school board told everyone, "Yep, we're going back in person." And the teachers and the teachers union, upon evaluation of their ventilation system that has not been updated in 90 years, said, "Yeah, no, we're not letting our teachers, the union directed teachers, not to go back in person." And there was actually a lawsuit. The school district sued the teachers over what they called an illegal strike. Well, the courts sided in favor of the teachers, that they need to get their ventilation systems up to date before the teachers are required to return back to school. So right now they are scheduled the second week of April that some of their elementary schools will begin to start going back to hybrid learning. So this isn't just an issue in some far off town. This is a Montclair issue as well. And go ahead.
Did you say 90 years the ventilation hasn't been updated?
Yeah. I kind of skimmed over that part. Yeah, huh? Mm-hmm.
Oh my, how?
90 years. And that's not even a number that I'm making up. That's a number, if you look up the court case, the documents and all that pulled up, they said roughly 90 years.
Still, that's a lot.
Yeah, we're talking 1930s was the last time. So when you put it like that, that sounds pretty terrible.
A little bit.
So we'll see what happens with that. I imagine the school district is hard at work right now, fixing those ventilation systems, and we'll see what happens. There's a growing number of parents that do want to return back right now, and it's really wreaking havoc in the town of Montclair.
Yeah. I was going to...
So one of the organizations, there's an organization amongst parents that they started that they're calling Montclair Fail. And if you drive around town, there'll be signs with a little circle with an F on it, like a teacher failed you. And it says, get our kids back in school. And what fail means is Montclair families advocating for in-person learning. Stop failing our kids. At the top of their webpage, they have a counter of how long it's been since the last in-person class. And as of now, it's been 12 months, 8 days, 18 hours, and 57 minutes. And I just like to say how ridiculous it is that they have a counter on this website. It kind of like illegitimizes any valid points that they had. This is some stuff I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm going to Disney World in 7 days, 13 hours, and 26 minutes. Yeah, okay. But
I guess.
It's been 12 months, 8 days, 18 hours, and now 58 minutes.
I mean, I guess, but like looking at that and hearing that like time frame, that's ridiculous that it's been that long. I don't know if they needed to go down to the minutes, but
it does have a valid point when you're speaking about how long it's been. Definitely.
Yeah, over a year. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, it definitely is a little bit insane. And it kind of makes me a little sad too.
Yeah, I think it's more comforting to think about how how I said in my newscast earlier, most of the Newark school employees, 2,000 of them plan on being vaccinated by the new school year. So that's pretty comforting to hear, and for some normalcy.
Right.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with both of you. But anyway, we'll be back here on the Morning Buzz in just a bit with some Disneyland expansion news, ? Alaska Costco shoppers say that ravens are stealing their groceries, and we'll also have some of the best April Fool's pranks that you can play on your family members this year on Wednesday.
You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. Tune in anytime, anywhere at WMSCradio.com and the iHeartRadio app.
Text and whatever. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Bird up. Team Rocky is our mascot group on campus, made up of a bunch of different student leaders, both Rocky and handlers. And our main goal is to spread Red Hook pride, positive vibes, and just make people smile on campus, off campus, and through our social media presence. You can follow along with Rocky on all platforms: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, you name it. You can also follow Rocky on YouTube at Red Hawk Life to follow along with some really fun videos, including but not limited to Rocky on the Street.
Upper Montclair, where music stays cool. Cooler than a dog on a skateboard. Okay, I take that back, but we're still pretty cool.
Pretty cool indeed here at the Morning Buzz on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, the voice of Montclair State. I'm Louis Biondolillio.
I'm Kyle Pepitone.
And I'm Katrina Geiger.
And we are your Morning Buzz Monday crew today, and we have somebody joining us in just a little bit. But I got to say, I love the Morning Buzz. I'm so excited to be here on a Monday morning at 8:32 in the... No, I'm just kidding. I really do enjoy being here. I told our producer like about 6,000 times we should consider making this the afternoon buzz. I think that sounds good. You're listening to the afternoon buzz. I think that sounds good. You're not feeling it?
I don't know. Morning Buzz has a better ring to it.
Oh, you like the morning buzz. What about you, Katrina?
I think if we were to make an afternoon buzz, it should be like a different sound effect instead of buzz.
I don't know. I don't have a sound effect. Oh, wait, hold on. You're listening to the afternoon buzz.
Yeah!
I like that. We're gonna get into some fun news because I feel like we talk about a lot of depressing stuff. But I could also, by the way, use the evening buzz. I would enjoy an evening buzz and then a late night buzz. Like, it's late night with Kyle Pepitone.
Wait. Thank you. How late we talking about? Because I gotta get to sleep.
I think a solid. Well, hold on. The afternoon buzz can be at like 2:00. The evening could be at 7, and then we can have the late night buzz at like 11. I think that'd be great.
I'd be down for that.
Patrina's with me. Patrina, you and I are hosting. Our producer Amanda has no say in the matter. We are hosting the late night buzz. But anyway, on to something much more important than anything that we could be speaking about with radio. Let's talk about what we know about Disneyland Forward. Disney starting plans with City for possible new development. And possible is the key word here. Disneyland, which is actually set to reopen 1 month from tomorrow, April 30th, in over a year, is hoping to add more magic within its property eventually. The Disney property in California is beginning planning efforts with the city to add or renovate retail options, parking, and the theme park within the park's bounds. They expect the planning process to be complete in 2023. So we're talking like years down the line here.
Yeah.
So what they're calling it Disneyland Forward, and it really does not include a lot of detail at all. They have a web page for it. And basically, this is what they have announced. They have announced that they're adding a theme park district. That's it. A theme park district, not a theme park, a district theme park, which kind of sounds to me. And they showed us the plot that they want to use. And it's not that large. It looks about a third of the size of both of their current amusement parks right now. I could see this possibly being some type of like, there's a few attractions, but it's a pay per ride kind of system. Because I don't see people going, like, I feel like this is a Times Square attraction. Like you have, you can walk in for free. You can look at the sights, the sounds, the smells for free. But as soon as you want to do anything, that's when they start asking you to cough up $16 for a little tiny carousel ride.
Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining with Disneyland. And again, nothing is confirmed, but if they do go that route, where it's a pay per ride kind of system, that's very old school for Disney. Because when Disneyland first opened, in addition to the very nominal admission fee, I think it was like 20 cents or something when they first opened, they wanted you to pay per ride. And that's how Disneyland was originally started. But it looks like they might be going back to that. In addition to an amusement park section, They promised that there will be a new part of the shopping district, a new parking garage, but they never said what's going to be in it. So here's my thoughts. First of all, why do I think that they announced this like the other day? Well, here's why I think. Everyone's getting those darn stimulus checks that we've been talking about for weeks. They got those stimmies in their pockets. And I think Disney is hoping that people invest in their company. I think that's exactly what this announcement is. I think they want everyone to waste their stimmies on the stock market, especially when it includes them in their plans. And it makes complete sense to me. Why else would you announce something that the planning process won't even be done until 2023, which means that this area will not open earliest 25.
Yeah.
So we're talking about something 4 years from now, which is, 4 years is 4 years. You look back 4 years ago, that was 2017. Yeah. All of us were in a completely different lifestyle in 27. All of us were in a completely different lifestyle a year and a month ago. Let's be honest, 13 months ago. So time can only tell what's going to come of this section, if anything. We've seen Disney do a lot of things in the past, and I know I'm like an amusement park geek, and most people don't know this, but there's been plenty of plans that Disney has announced, but they never come into fruition. So putting that aside, putting the idea that it may not happen to the side, what would you guys like to see from a Disney something, whatever, the Disney forward, whatever it is? I don't know what they're including. They haven't told us. They just said something is coming. What do you want to see? There's a lot you could ask for here. You don't have to tell me what type of ride we're talking about. You could tell me, I want to see a Frozen themed area. I want to see something based off of Cars, which they already have. So what would you like to see? Personally, I would like to see a Soul area. That's the new Pixar movie. I would love to see a ride and a restaurant themed after it. I feel like a Soul restaurant would look amazing. Like you're dining in the great beyond. That would be really, really, really cool. But what about you guys?
For me, I've honestly, okay, so you're gonna hate me for this, Lewis. I'm not a big ride fan. Like I just don't really I don't really go on rides. Like
Patrina, we were supposed to host the late night buzz together, but I think we have to take separate ways here.
Yeah, I'm working on my ride thing, but I'm a huge person, like a huge fan of like arcades. Like I'm the one that's just like runs right to the arcade. I don't know, like, cause I've only been to Disney once, so I'm not sure. Cause I went on Disney once, it was like for a day, and I had a fast pass, so I didn't get to experience much of it. But I'm not sure if they have an arcade. But if they have an arcade, I would want like a nice big Disney themed arcade.
Now, do you want it to be a normal arcade that just has Disney themed games, or do you want it to be like this immersive experience that's like uniquely Disney?
It has to be Disney themed, obviously. But like, like those games where you put the coin in and it's like it like pushes the coins back out.
Yes, my favorite game at any arcade.
I sit there for hours, literally hours. But yeah, so like make like those kinds of games, but like with different kinds of characters and themes. Like I think that'd be pretty cool. But I'm not, again, like I've only been to Disney like once, so I'm not familiar with it and what they really have.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would love to see something similar. That'd be pretty cool. I'd like to see something like if they had skee ball and you get the 500 points, some character just starts making the whole room light up like crazy. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
Like every time you get 500 points, Stitch from Lilo and Stitch starts to wreak havoc amongst everyone playing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they could definitely make it like super cool. They could really go all out with that.
Yeah.
And Disney's tried their hands at an indoor themed thing like this. They called it Disney Quest. And that was, I think it closed a few years back, but it was their failed attempt at a theme park not around Disney. Like they were going to build one in New York City, they were going to build one in Chicago, and basically they were like very small I don't even know what to call it. Like they would call it a theme park, an indoor theme park, but it was not an indoor theme park, but it failed miserably. So what I would love to see is them bring something like that back, because I enjoyed it when I went. And I would like to see them succeed at it. It's the problem that they had was that they didn't put any money into it, and therefore their attractions were pretty terrible. But I would like to see a similar concept with better execution.
Right.
Kyle?
So here's one I thought of, like, just as you said the question, based on, what recently I've seen from Disney. But the more I think about it, the more I have no idea how it would work or what the premise behind it would be. But I'd love to see like a WandaVision ride where not that it may necessarily takes you through the plot of the series, but more like maybe like a roller coaster or some interactive experience where you go through each of the decades. So like you start off, everything's in black and white, then you get into color, and then, you go from 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, yada, yada, yada. I think that would be a cool concept, but other than that, I don't know what there would be.
I think Kyle is a future Imagineer. I think we have a future Imagineer in our presence. I would like to see Kyle's voice be the voice of the monorail. Could you say stand clear of the closing doors in your most magical voice?
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
No, never mind. I don't want him. Oh my goodness.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah, cut him. He's not the voice of Disneyland. Some people have
I tried.
Some people, you have a nice voice, Kyle, but I wouldn't call it magical.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't have the voice either. Like, stand clear of the closing doors, please. No, it doesn't work. Well, my voice kind of sounds like the Fitness Gram Pacer test, if any of you know what I'm talking. The Fitness Gram Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. I could keep going. I won't.
Please don't.
I don't want to make Kyle relive trauma here. But so some people have speculated that this will be another area like Downtown Disney. Our general manager, Annabella Poland, actually texted me during the show about 5 minutes ago saying, yeah, it's probably going to be like Downtown Disney. I feel bad because she's not here to defend her ideas, but they already have a Downtown Disney. So I don't know. I don't know if that's something that they'd be thinking about. Maybe it's just an expansion. Regardless, I feel like we say this all the time. We'll see. We do not know, and we have a lot of time to speculate on this. I think this announcement was just made so that their stocks continue to rise.
Most likely.
That's all I have about Disney. Let's quickly go through our next story.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry. I just started. I saw it and I started laughing hysterically, and our listeners will understand why.
Oh, it's a doozy. So some Alaska Costco shoppers say that ravens are stealing their groceries. And to be clear, we are talking about the bird, not the Baltimore football team.
Oh, okay. I was concerned about that.
So, according to AP News, Costco shoppers have been getting essentially robbed by ravens in the, surrounding area. And one Costco shopper in Anchorage, Alaska, Matt Llewellyn, said that he was putting groceries in his car when ravens came down and took short ribs from his cart. He claimed, quote, "They know what they're doing. It's not their first time. They're very fat, so I think they've got a whole system there." Fortunately, though, Costco did give Matt Lou Allen a full refund, but unfortunately, he is not the first or only victim, because another resident, Tamara Jones, recalls that ravens sat on the car next to her while she was loading her groceries into her car, and they tried to nab the bag of mini melons that was in her cart. And they made several attempts to steal this bag of mini melons. So Alaska has kleptomaniac ravens now. I don't know what else to say about that. But it doesn't seem like they're like ravens from the area, because a former wildlife biologist, Rick Sinnott, said that a lot of these ravens come to Alaska during the winter in search of food. and they leave once the season ends. You know how migration works. So, yeah, thoughts? I mean, I see why they're doing that. I see why the Ravens are forced to take groceries from shoppers.
For sure. I'm not mad at the Ravens.
Yeah, I don't think they have Costco memberships themselves.
So. No, it's probably pretty difficult for them to get in, get some short ribs. They can get long ribs anytime they like. But what would you do? Like you're just sitting there, or you're standing there, you're walking with your little cart. You're in the dark because you're in Alaska and there's no sun there for 3 months of the year. And ravens just swoop down upon you. Like, what are you going to do? Are you just going to go back at them and shout, "It's time to do"? There's no way. There's simply no way that you can't. These things, like, they'll just push you to the side.
Well, with that, I forget what it was. It was either ravens or crows, but my friend has been getting them, like, in his backyard. And he said, if you feed them, they can like become loyal to you almost. Like they can protect you.
But you have to voluntarily feed them.
I think so, yes.
Oh boy. You see, in New Jersey this year, we're going to have the issues of cicadas. In Alaska, they're having the year of the ravens. I'm sorry, this one's killing me. This one's killing me.
Yeah,
This is ridiculous.
I don't know.
I'm just trying to imagine, like, my mother walking out. My mother's like, I love my mother, but she's not that tall, and she comes out of Costco with her full load of groceries. She calls it the $300 club. She doesn't walk inside without paying upwards of $300. Well, yeah, that's Costco for you, because you think you're saving money and then you just buy a bunch of stuff that you do not need, and then it's $300. That's how Costco gets you. But anyway, I love Costco, but they need to bring back samples. But I'm just imagining my mother walking out, and then Raven just comes on down. It's like my sound effect, and like comes upon her. I don't know. I think she'd just run, to be honest with you.
You wanted meatballs for dinner tonight? Nah.
I got you Raven stew. My father would come out with a baseball bat. He said, "You want the meatballs?" Nah, I got you Raven stew.
Oh, no.
For legal reasons, that is a joke. But I'm just joking about the toughness of my father, who is a very Italian man. So for the FCC listening in, I have to tell you, it is a joke. And speaking of jokes, this Thursday, I made a mistake before and called it Wednesday, but this Thursday is my favorite holiday of the year. April Fool's Day is upon us once again, people of the world. So we just wanted to give you a few ideas that you could use on your workplace, on your home, some pranks that are safe with social distancing, but really will make things a little bit more fun either at home or in the office, or maybe the office is home. If you are going to the office and there's some people, I'm skipping number one, Kyle. I think that one's pretty terrible.
I didn't even know what it was. Oh, okay. No.
Yeah.
Okay, but, never mind.
Yeah, number two, if you work in an office building, this is from bestlifeonline.com. They say you should start putting signs on all the double doors saying, "Please use the other door," and like continuously throughout the day, keep adding more of them until there's no way to leave without going through the door. And that's a harmless prank, and I think that's funny. I would find that amusing. People would probably be pissed off, but whatever. Do not care. Another one, something you could do at home that my mother does to me about once every 3 years on April Fools: rearrange all the kitchen drawers. I don't advise you doing this if your mother is like mine, because she would be upset without you telling. My mother's not a good sport when it comes to April Fools, but I still do it anyway. So yeah, rearrange those kitchen drawers. Take away the spoons, tape them together, hide them in a closet. Amazing. I think it would be pretty cool. What's this one? All right. So this one would be fun. This is what they're calling the underwear switcheroo. Raid the underwear drawers of everyone in your home and switch them up. Your mom will be briefly befuddled by why she has only tighty whitey men's underwear before realizing it's April Fool's. I actually like that one. That's a cute one. If you're
The
willing.
way it's worded is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I would agree with them. Oh, and this is a good socially distanced one, and it'll be our last one. And this is one that I think my mother would absolutely kill me. And I can't do it because I believe she's listening and watching in right now. But send an envelope to somebody just full of glitter.
I thought these were supposed to be harmless.
I mean, nobody will get hurt. Feelings might, but nobody will actually be hurt.
Couches might. Opening it on your couch. That's it. It's done.
Trying to clean that up, that's got to be frustrating as more than anything.
Oh no. Okay. All right. We're gonna say two more. One of them, change the date. This is more of a group effort, whether it's your family or office mates. Find an unsuspecting victim and convince them today is actually March 31st. This requires changing every computer or device with a date on it, plus manufacturing a new calendar. But if you could pull it off, you'll have successfully broken the space-time continuum, at least for one. That one's the most harmless out of all of them. I like that one a lot.
That one requires the most effort, though.
Yeah, no, you're right. And this next one also requires effort, but it'll be a rewarding reward. And I'm backtracking to number 9, Kyle, if you're following along.
Right.
This one's bad. We all love caramel apples. Well, some people do.
I know
Can
where you're
you
going with this.
imagine you bite into the apple and it's an onion?
Oh, geez.
Well, I for one kind of like onions, so I don't know if I would mind that much.
Kyle, I think most people like onions, but if I'll make a deal with you, Kyle, and we'll do this the next time we're in person, but we gotta do this fast. Next time I see you in person, I will give you one of these, tell you it's a caramel onion, and if you can eat the whole thing, $50 is yours. That is.
I mean, I'd have no problem with the onion. I think the caramel is going to be the harder part. My teeth aren't the greatest, so.
All right, so we got Patrina, you and me, we have to overload on the caramel when we make this.
Oh yeah, like 500 layers.
But Kyle's here with the hot takes, but he's not the only one here with the hot takes of thinking caramel is worse than onion.
I didn't say caramel was worse. I just said I don't have the teeth to consume caramel.
All right, but you have the taste buds to consume onions. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a little weird, Kyle. Gonna be honest.
Yeah, and there you go. That's the hot takes. That's Emma Coughlin. Welcome to the show, Emma.
Thank you. It's been a great show so far. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
All right. Oops, sorry. So last week I talked about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Marvel and just some sort of issues with diversity that I've had in the past with them. And this past episode with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I have to talk about this since, we talked about it last week. They did address it in a fairly well done way, I would say. And I won't talk about it too much because if I do it can give some spoilers, so I won't talk about it too much. But there's a scene with the police officer where he is clearly sort of targeting Sam, the Falcon, who is black, more than Bucky Barnes, who is white. So that was a interesting scene, and I was happy that they addressed it and looking forward to see where they go with it in the future. Okay, so now that I've addressed that, there's something else I want to talk about.
And this one's been circulating, right?
Yeah, I'm sure most of you know about this. This past week, Lil Nas X released a music video for his new song that was very yes, I don't know what the word is.
Not controversial, but out of the ordinary.
Out of the
I'm
ordinary,
guessing, something like that.
controversial.
Yeah.
To go along with this music video, he also released a collaboration with a shoe company called MSCHF. And they are shoes with a tiny drop of blood in them, real human blood. And also
pentagraph on it, I believe.
Pentagram, yeah.
Yeah, pentagram. Thank you. So the company, MSCHF, has said that they're going to be selling 66 pairs of shoes, or 666 pairs of shoes, for $1,018 each. I should clarify, the drop blood is from the workers. They all donated the blood. It's a very small amount of blood. Most of it is just red ink, but there is a drop of blood in there. And a lot of people have issues with this because or I guess still is, sort of a big celebrity for kids because of Old Town Road, his big hit from, I guess it was 2019. Yeah. And a lot of people are struggling with this because it kind of is a bit dark for children, more than a bit dark. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah, I'm not even going to get into the YouTube video portion of the issue.
Yeah.
That like, if we can't really speak about it on air, dancing around all the words we can't say, but if you know about it, I don't really care about the YouTube video. That doesn't even bother me. What bothers me is the shoes. Like, I don't know. Even if they were given to me for free, I wouldn't want to wear shoes with somebody else's drop of blood on them. I don't know. That's just me. I don't know if I'm like a prude or something, but
no, I think most people would probably be with you.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I personally have zero interest. I'm curious to see if it is only 666. There is probably 666 people in the world who would buy them. But that might be it.
Right.
Well, somebody who's not with them is Nike themselves. Despite the shoes having the Nike logo on them, they said in a statement, and I'm paraphrasing here, but they're like, "Yeah, we're not in on this. We don't support this." So, not sure how they got away with that.
They could get sued, I would think. But
we're talking about Lil Nas X over here. I'm sure he's fine.
That's true. That's true. We'll see what happens with this as a whole, including the music video. But yeah.
And Patrina, you were going to say something?
Oh no, I was just saying it's very weird of them to assume that like Nike's just gonna be like, oh okay, yeah, you're gonna use our logo in your shoe and everything's just gonna be like fine. Like I don't know, like that's weird. It's a very weird shoe to like just assume Nike's gonna be okay with it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the article also mentioned that this particular company, MSCHF, I think it's pronounced mischief because that's what the letters spell out. But they said they also made heaven theme. Like this is coming after their line of, what was it? It was like Jesus shoes.
Yeah, they had a drop of holy water in them, which, I mean, I'd be a little bit more comfortable with that.
I mean, maybe if you get both pairs, you can wear one on each foot, and
that's true. Balance it out.
I mean, if you wear one of those, one of them's bound to burn at that point. If you're wearing both of them together, yeah,
it's true. Yeah.
But interesting stories today. Thank you, Emma. Appreciate your time, and thank you, everyone. This has been the Morning Buzz. I've been Louis Biondolillio. You guys have been you. He's been.
I'm Kyle Pepitone.
She's been
Katrina Geiger.
And she's been
Emma Coughlin.
And our producer's been Amanda Marino. And this has been the Morning Buzz. We'll see you next week. But remember, it's a Monday. Hope you all have a fabulous week. Whatever you're going through, remember, the show must go on here at WMSC Upper Montclair.